This is Laura Torti, Farm Management Advisor with UC Cooperative Extension speaking. I would like to take this opportunity to share information with you about some challenges and new labor laws for California's farmers. First things first, there are many laws and regulations that you as a farmer need to be aware of that affect your business. Here I would like to highlight two new laws in particular, the minimum wage and overtime laws that were passed in California in 2016, and then share one example related to how these laws might impact your farming operation. Here are some recent challenges that farmers have encountered related to labor. First on the list is the Affordable Care Act and the costs associated with providing health care benefits. The question mark is here because it is not clear what the future of the law and the associated costs will be. Next, paid sick leave is now required for employees. Also, if you pay your workers on piece rate or for piece work, recent interpretations of the law related to non-productive time have created challenges for growers with respect to how pay is calculated. But as previously mentioned, the focus here is on the newer minimum wage and overtime laws. Note here the image from the Department of Industrial Relations Labor Enforcement Task Force for Agriculture and the accompanying language that makes clear that a failure to pay appropriate minimum wage, overtime, or breaks can result in penalties. So it is important that you educate yourself and follow the laws. So let's take a look at the new minimum wage law for California, also known as Senate Bill 3. This will impact all sectors in the state, including agriculture. As you will see, there is a phase-in schedule which is broken down by size of workforce. For larger operations with 26 or more employees, the minimum wage gradually increases from $10.50 per hour in 2017 to $15 per hour in 2022. For smaller operations, or those with 25 or fewer employees, the full phase-in is delayed for 1 year. So now let's take a look at the new overtime law known as Assembly Bill 1066. The law will gradually decrease the number of hours employees can work on a daily and weekly basis before overtime wages are required. Prior to its passage, field workers and equipment operators could work up to 10 hours per day or 60 hours per week without overtime wages. By 2022, the requirement will be lowered to 8 hours per day or 40 hours per week for employers with 26 or more employees. For smaller operations, there is an additional 3-year phase-in schedule. Here are a few questions I have been asked recently. First, what costs and what benefits do farm employers generally pay or provide for employees? These generally include taxes, workers' compensation, paid sick leave, vacation, and health care. Some employers provide other benefits such as retirement options and bonuses. A second question is, how will the new minimum wage and overtime laws impact agriculture? Because the laws are new and the phase-in schedules have only just begun, the full impact is not yet known. Also, the new overtime law may change wages and scheduling of work in complicated ways as it is phased in. That said, I will share an example in a moment to demonstrate one potential effect. A third question I get is, do farmers already pay wages higher than the current minimum wage? The answer is yes, many do. One way to determine this is to look at some of the cost and return studies prepared by UC Cooperative Extension Farm Advisors and researchers at UC's Agricultural Issues Center with assistance from local farmers. The studies include labor hours and rates for current wages paid. The website link is shown here. Okay, Let's take a look at one example of how higher minimum wages may affect an agricultural operation. This is an exercise where I am using recent cost and return studies for lettuce and broccoli to demonstrate, specifically looking at weed management practices. As you can see, in 2017, the wage rate for field labor was estimated as a base wage of $12 per hour. The wage for equipment operators was $15.50 per hour. Both are higher rates than the current law. By 2022, the minimum wage will be $15 for larger operations. The difference will be then $3 per hour, or an increase of approximately 25%. If we apply a similar 25% increase to the equipment operator wage, that raises the hourly wage to $19.40 per hour, or a difference of $3.90 per hour. Remember, these are base wages and do not include benefits packages, which often add between 40 and 45% to base wages. Our 2017 lettuce study, field and equipment labor for weed management, totaled $188 per acre. A 25% increase to that cost equals $235 per acre, or a difference of $47 per acre. The result for broccoli is similar at $46 per acre. Depending upon the number of acres you farm, the increased cost could therefore be substantial. A few other considerations to keep in mind offered to us by Phil Martin, a labor economist at UC Davis. Overtime laws will most likely affect irrigators and equipment operators because of the nature of their work, which sometimes requires work hours and work days that do not fit well with the new laws. In the last few years in particular, labor availability has been constrained and new workers hard to find. There are a number of reasons for this situation, a much longer discussion than is possible here. However, in response to these labor constraints, farm employers are looking at ways to improve efficiency in scheduling and/or paying overtime wages rather than trying to recruit and train new employees. Finally, some employers are now participating in the H-2A legal guest worker program, which works well for some but may not for others. For example, there are requirements for transportation, meals, and housing that may be cost prohibitive for some employers. You might be wondering how farmers are responding as the laws and wages change. Again, UC Davis's Phil Martin discusses 4 ways in which farmers are dealing with or thinking about handling labor constraints and rising wages. First, they try to satisfy and retain experienced workers by providing bonuses or added benefits, for example, training for supervisory positions. Next, farmers may use more mechanical aids to stretch the workforce and help with efficiency. Some growers may use machines as a substitute for labor when and if available. The options to do this for fragile and highly perishable fruits and vegetables are currently very limited. The final strategy is to supplement existing workers with the H-2A guest worker program. As previously mentioned, this approach is not feasible for all operations because of the logistics and associated costs. Some farmers have also mentioned shrinking the size of their operations or even shifting their crops from those that require a high level of labor to those that require less labor. Here are some resources that may be helpful to you if you have additional questions. While this presentation is meant to help with a basic understanding of the new laws, there are nuances that relate to the challenges discussed and the new laws that may be specific to your own farm. Please also feel free to visit our statewide or local websites for different types of information related to your farm business. You may also contact our many UC Cooperative Extension farm advisors with your questions. Thanks for your interest in this topic.